I'm Tyler.
And I'm Ryan, and this is Retrobit Unplugged. What's going on, Tyler?
Hi.
You having a great week with the Kings, or how?
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it
No.
today? Okay. All right. Is it worse or better than your March Madness bracket already?
Oh, way worse.
Oh, okay. Well, we're recording this on Wednesday the 19th. They've only played a couple playing games.
Texas and Xavier are currently playing.
So, but before we get too far into that, we are gonna touch on it in our hot takes this week. So, but did you get a chance see what everybody's talking about on social media right now?
The John Cena heel turn? Yes, sir.
Ooh. I heard he called out a kid.
He did, yeah. It was funny.
Did he really actually?
It was funny as hell, yeah.
Did he really point at a kid?
He did. It was funny. It was funny as hell.
I'm thinking that's not going to help the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
He's not doing Make-A-Wishes right now.
What? Wow. So he's like just out.
Yeah.
All right.
Finally.
Well, I'm sure that's going to go over well with little kids. So.
Too bad. I don't care.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Too bad. So sad. No, that's not what I was referring to though. It's good to hear though. No, Happy Gilmore 2. You ever see the first one?
No.
No, because you're like 12. So.
No, I'm not.
You're like 12. So, no, Happy Gilmore 2. Watched the new trailer. I'm happy. Haha. See, it's a Happy Gilmore joke. There we go. But everybody's talking about it. It's all over social media right now. How they brought back a bunch of the cast. Unfortunately, a few of the original stars did pass away since then. But Adam Sandler's back. Ben Stiller made an appearance, and all the cool characters.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's fine. Anyway, more importantly, baseball's back.
Nah, not yet.
Well, isn't that? I thought the Japan series, is that not?
I mean, that is happening.
Yeah, so baseball's back. Ish.
Technically, yes.
Technically. I might be wrong on my Shohei. He might be at 100% strength. I don't know.
He's not pitching yet.
He's not, but
your take was a pitching take.
So it was a pitching take.
I wasn't worried about it yet.
I'm a little worried. He's already hit like 7 home runs in Japan. So, but along with the MLB season is the video game MLB
the show.
show.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I am.
Have you seen the controversy around it?
No.
You haven't seen the controversy around it?
No, I have not. I've kind of taken a back year from MLB The Show this year.
A lot of people are upset.
Well, I mean, that sounds like every year since MLB The Show's 14.
I don't disagree, but they have a new little segment. I'm going to call it a gimmick at the beginning of the game.
Okay, explain.
It's college, so you actually get to play.
Oh, I saw this. I thought this was cool.
You thought it was cool?
Yeah, the metal bats.
How about this? You go back to finish your college career after your freshman year, and it automatically advances your player 3 years in age for 1 overall. You only move your player. You go from a 60 to a 61 in 3 years, 3 full seasons of college. That's it.
How many games do you play?
Like 5.
Do you get to play? You don't play 5 games. So you lose 3 years, but you only get to play 5 games for 1 overall.
Correct.
So I don't even get to play the whole 3 years.
No, and good luck if you even win a national championship.
Is this total, or just like if I get drafted and go back?
If you drafted and go back to college, you only gain 1. So if you just go grind the minors for 3 seasons versus you get to play what? I don't even know how many games are in a minor league season. It's not 162. It's like 100 and 120 or something like that. So go grind those games and go get your overall up to like 70 or 75 or something like that. People are pissed. They think it's such a gimmick. And it's like, just go make a college baseball game if you're going to go do that.
I don't know. I think it's cool.
I don't know. I think it's a gimmick. I think you're hindering from a player dynamic. You're just hindering it.
Maybe you're looking at it from a business aspect, and I'm looking at it from a fun aspect.
Maybe, but it's not going over well with a lot of fans.
Well,
So,
nothing anymore goes over well anymore. Everyone finds something to moan about.
you're right. You're 100% right.
So we live in a day and age where no one can be right. Someone's gonna find something.
And that is a great segue to our topic of the week.
Is it?
It is, because we are going to talk about the part 1 of top 10 bit games of all time this week.
Of all time.
Of all time. You know
From 97 BC to now?
Yes. I know.
What game do you think you're playing in like 100 BC?
100 BC. I mean, was Dice around? They had a
maybe the asteroid yet?
Huh?
Officially asteroid hit already, right?
Well, like the asteroid was like a couple million.
They never actually put a year on it. I always assume
couple million years ago.
Okay.
But what games would they have played at 100 BC? That's a good take. I mean, Dice maybe was made at that point. I doubt they were playing cards yet. I don't know how far you could throw a rock. I don't know. Hunting was a sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have found dolls and stuff like in little figurines. Not like we know today with like Barbie or whatever, but they had some kind of games.
Yeah. Well, not these type of games. These type of games were around in the 80s, I assume.
Yes, 70s, 80s.
Is there one on here from the 70s? Because to my knowledge, most of these are either 80s or 90s.
Well, in those first 5, there is one.
There's one?
There is one from the 70s.
I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to spoil it, but let me look at my list here.
Number 2 on the list.
Oh, that was from 70s?
I believe that was from the 70s.
Oh, see, to me, what I would have thought 5 because of how long it's been around.
Wow. It came out in the 90s. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't follow it.
So, we are going to start off with a classic that you love. And I'm just looking up what year it was to start this off. 1985.
So that would be the Super Nintendo?
That would have been Nintendo NES. We're gonna start off with the NES.
I was just about to say it's the NES probably.
NES, and it is hands down one of the most. Now this list is not in order.
There's no order on this.
No order.
Please don't get mad at us. This is not in order. We're just in general. These are what we assume are the top 10 and today top 5 of all time.
Correct. So, you got to start off with the classic Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, okay. I thought that's not where I thought we were going with that.
And I think that one is just iconic. Like, it's the first game that I feel like a lot of people bonded with. Now, that wasn't the first time we ever saw Super Mario, but it's the first time Super Mario got his own game.
I mean, everyone and their mother knows about Mario.
Course.
Like, you can't.
No, you got.
No matter what game you're playing, everyone's gonna say it's something involving Mario.
Correct. I mean, it created not just a franchise, but an entire brand. You know, you have Super Mario World, like not the game world.
Paper Super Mario, please bring. I mean, I put time in that game on DS.
But you have like
a
Super Mario World, like an actual like Disneyland Super Mario World down in I think one's in LA, one's in Japan. Like it's created an entire brand. And I mean
how many variations of Mario are there now?
Oh my god.
Like I said, you have Paper Mario, you have Mario World, you have Smash Brothers, you got the original game, you got Dr. Mario. Like there's so many variations of this franchise that you like.
I mean,
it's hard to have a list like this and not have Mario on it.
There's more than 20 games in the series.
Yeah, so
and that's not counting spin-offs. Like you got the iconic characters, Luigi, Mario Kart, Yoshi came from Super Mario,
Luigi's
Mansion, Mario Party, like
Mario Party,
like iconic. right? Like if you want to put up there just iconic game characters, it all started with Super Mario.
I don't disagree.
So that's number one. Um, Another one of all time is one of kind of your favorites. I think a lot of people lean when they see this, they lean towards arcade. I think they arcade, and I was wrong. It was actually 1980.
So it just missed.
Just missed the 70s, but I think this is one that is iconic from just a down to earth arcade game.
Super basic, super basic game.
Pac-Man.
Is it Pac-Man?
I mean, the Waka 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 is just an iconic sound, and I think it set up just the like real arcade. I mean, I remember growing up.
Don't age yourself here.
I know, but like going to Round Table, and it had this giant. It literally was as far as you or I apart. I know people can't see this, but it was this far apart, and you played, and you had a Mario or Pac-Man screen.
I don't know if anyone can see it, but kind of like what's right behind you.
But there was even
some like that size, right?
But well, no, it was like a table.
Oh, okay.
And you could play. It was 2-player, and it was just you arcades. Like that's really you transition from pinball to Pac-Man. I know we're going super old now.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what to say about Pac-Man.
I think
it's no, it deserves to be on this list, 100%. Yes. But it's the idea of it was so basic that I'm trying to think of like
it for content. Like they tried to make TV shows out of Pac-Man. They tried other like things, but where I think it holds its iconic in gaming history is arcades. Like it transitioned from your pinball machines or your little flappy baseball games and stuff to a digital platform.
Okay. All right.
And I think it's where it has to be.
So it might not have been something influential in like the home gaming world, but if you go like arcades, that's where it made its impact.
It brought people together.
Did it ever come to like a home console? Or has it always just been an arcade game?
It for sure did. It came to I think so it was for sure first on that. I think eventually it came out on Atari. Atari eventually had it.
Okay.
Joystick gaming, right? It's just one of those that
super simple.
Correct.
Joystick.
And it was something the whole family could play, right? And it was just fun, simple, but you could stare at a screen. So super basic, and I think it it beats out like Pong or Brick. So Pong,
I played Pong.
Brick you've probably played. It's where the ball goes up and down, knocking out the little bricks.
Oh, I played both of these, yes.
Those were fun because it was simple, but this like Pac-Man brought a character.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
Right. I know it was simple, but think about what's like your favorite game of all time that's not sports.
Not sports? Favorite game of all time?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm tied between two.
Okay.
So, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2.
Okay.
Or Batman: Arkham City.
Okay. What is key about each of those games though?
As a main character.
Right. Pong didn't have a main character. You were a bar hitting a ball. Same thing with Brick. Pac-Man, now you have a character. And you want to bond with that character. And I think that's where it brought families into that. So, plus, I mean, they still make little arcade versions. I think, we have NBA Jam here. I think they made one for Pac-Man.
They do,
just like this. you can't talk about arcade games without saying Pac-Man. And obviously it led to Mrs. Pac-Man and so on and so
Is there
forth.
a difference between the two?
There might be like in terms of levels, and the way that the ghosts react, but I think overall it's the same gameplay.
Okay.
So it's still major transition between Maddens every year, but so
Then there was no like sequels or like anything else like other titles of Pac-Man because that's kind of a hard game to try and make like
yeah,
a different like a version
you
of.
had Pac-Man, you had Mrs. Pac-Man. I think you eventually had some like Pac-Man adventure type stuff, which kind of changed it. I want to say those came out of like the GameCube and stuff like that, but
Nothing like the original. Huh?
no, it really like Super Mario. We go back to Super Mario, and it really just um, set the stage right for an entire franchise and a brand. Pac-Man was just more of like bringing awareness to the digital age of arcade gaming.
Okay, that makes sense.
So now the third one I think on our list that we're going to talk about today set the tone for storyline. And this is one that I've played a little bit. I haven't
So
played
I
it a
know
lot.
it is now.
Yeah, I haven't played it a lot, but there's a huge following. It's
It's
become.
not the one I'm thinking in my head. I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you know which. Yeah, no, this is older. This one was
Yeah.
introduced in the 80s, 86.
Is this The Legend of Zelda?
This is the Legend of Zelda.
Okay. When you said played only a little bit, I was like, well, it's not the other. It's definitely not
No,
the other two.
no, it's
So
not the other
like,
two. Sticking to the older, definitely the older bit games. But I mean, your take on Legend of Zelda?
I've never played it. Like, but I've seen it, and
Mhm.
I think that's might have what is arguably one of the first like RPG games.
100%, 100%
What
first.
started out, which pretty much starts the RPG
Correct.
a genre of video
Correct.
games, which is now a massive genre of video games now. Like that's
Massive.
it's huge.
And it really took the it took that you went from Mario that had kind of a storyline, but you didn't have control. If that you always had to go to the right.
It wasn't really. It wasn't. I think a big difference too was Mario's not an open world game
No.
like Zelda is.
Zelda was the first open world RPG. And there was some other games on computer around that time that utilized like DOS, like old school type, but it was all words. So you would say, it would come up with a question, do this, and then it would direct you one way or the other, but it was all storyline mode. So line by line. But Zelda, to your point, fully open world.
Fully open world RPG.
Yeah. Small. It's not GTA
No.
5, but it's still for its time on an 8-bit console massive. And I think the following is just huge.
It's a massive following for it.
I mean, you can't go into most stores in the video game section without seeing Zelda merch.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're gonna be clear, the Legend of Zelda is not the character you play.
No.
You play as Link.
Link, yes.
Common confusion, but crossover time, Link. I don't know if Zelda was, but Link for sure was in Super Smash Bros.
Link is in Smash.
So like it was so iconic that you have franchises combining for that. But no, I think Legend of Zelda like really
Was Legend of Zelda a Nintendo? Or was that
it was
else?
no,
Okay.
it was Nintendo. It started off as Nintendo. I think the second, because I think you had Legend of Zelda like 2. I think that one may have been SNES, and then before you start, I think GameCube was really when you started like that. Not Crash Bandicoot, but almost like a Spyro esque, where you had kind of an open world and you had to explore and
Spyro,
stuff.
that's a game.
Yeah, not 8-bit though. That was probably more 64-bit on the N64.
64, I think. Yeah, that makes sense.
So 8 times the qualification of what
Yes,
we're here.
8-bit.
So, but the next one, um, this one is, I think, personal for me,
I mean,
but I think it defined a need for sports games. And at the time, you had a couple of football games that were out there. I think there was a few early editions, really basic, but Tecmo Bowl and the subsequent Tecmo Super Bowl, I think took it to that next level. And coming out in 1987, it was one of the first games that gave us like a true, like being able to play a game with your favorite players, offense, defense. It utilized actual team names like Seahawks, Raiders, all of that. The fun glitch of Bo Jackson, right? And think about what that paved. It literally paved the path for eventually the Madden games of the 90s. Um, you wouldn't have Retro Bowl without Tecmo Bowl.
is that true?
100%. Because who thinks of an 8-bit football game if you didn't create it back then?
All right, that's fair.
I think football games would have eventually caught on and somebody would have made it. But Tecmo Bowl said, let's bring player names into the game. Let's bring a passing dynamic and a running dynamic and on defense, tackle, intercept, like and instead of having, because you couldn't do animations, right? You like have players, one-handed grab or all this. It would have cutscenes, and you could get that cutscene when something fun would happen. And it had something that Madden doesn't have, halftime show.
Yeah, halftime show.
But it was like sliding photos, like you get to see like things happening, a skydiver and stuff like
Okay.
that. But I mean, think about Retro Bowl compared to you've seen me play Tecmo Bowl.
It's the same thing, pretty much.
Exactly.
Graphically, it's the same thing.
I will say
specify that.
Tecmo Bowl is more robust.
Yes.
You get to play call. You get to
Yeah, play call.
yeah. Going back to that, I think Tecmo Super Bowl paved the way for sport video games. This was before you had Madden's, MLB The Shows, the games of the all the Sega different baseball games, things like that. And at the time, there just wasn't a sports game. I mean, there may have been like a fishing game here and there, or something like that, maybe a soccer, but Tecmo Super Bowl lives in infamy to this day. Okay, you want to go over the last one because this is closer to your age.
I don't know anything about this though.
You do though.
No, I really don't. Like,
you gotta catch them all.
what Pokemon?
Exactly. I think Pokemon is the round out our first of part one. Pokemon's iconic.
It is, but I had no knowledge. I mean, I have a very basic knowledge of it,
but you can't walk around without knowing what Pokemon is today.
Well, obviously I know what it is. I live with you, right. So.
But even when you're out in the world, like you see Pokemon everywhere. It went as far as being just a simple animated series to a game, like the
Didn't the game come first?
You know what? No, I got it. Now you got me questioning. It was the game first. I apologize. 1996. The anime series didn't happen until later on. But yes.
Don't know anything, but apparently I knew that.
You did. So 1996 is when the first games dropped. Now, Pokemon Green, which we didn't get here in the US.
Game Boy, though, right?
Game Boy, yes. Game Boy.
Color or Advance?
It was not Advance. It was on Game Boy. We're gonna look it up here. Game Boy. Hang on. Looking at it. I believe the original was Game Boy Color. It was.
Big drum roll, maybe.
Uh, it was released in Japan on the original Game Boy, but at that point, the original Game Boy had already been out for 7 years. So it was a very brief crossover with the original Game Boy, and then it turned to the Game Boy Color.
Okay.
Um, but it took the aspects of like Legend of Zelda, but gave it to a relatable character for kids. Because Zelda was a fighting game in terms of like you're using a sword to kill, different monsters and stuff like that. This, you got to battle with these little creatures, right? You got to catch them, collect them, and there was train them and have a storyline. And it was like they were your not just your pets, but your friends that you were training. And the whole goal of the game is to get to um, the Elite Four and beat the Elite Four. And I grinded so many hours, but even you've played some Pokemon Go, and like think about where it's come from, that little 8-bit game to where we are now.
It's incredible. It's incredible. A lot of these games have gone to at this point.
All of them. I mean, even Tecmo Super Bowl. I know they didn't continue it, but I mean, out of all these games,
I think Pokemon is the biggest one still today.
I think Super Mario still got to beat.
I think it's Pokemon.
It'd be close. It'd be close. And what's interesting is you have Pokemon Land in Japan that actually has like a Pokemon Center and stuff you can visit, but they got to be top two. I mean, they're top two for sure. But think about that. Like you created a brand, right? Even though the fat Pikachu somehow got skinny, take Ozempic or whatever, and just made it iconic, like you said. But yeah, I mean that's our first 5 of the 8-bit. What do you?
I'm hoping that our next 5 are games I actually have experience.
I think you do.
With.
I think you do.
I've been very quiet episodes. I just have no knowledge of any of these games at all. Like I don't have anything to add.
You had some. You had some. You know what I love saying is watching you like on Pac-Man, you playing with Jacob, and think about
He's
that.
better than me.
But think about that. He's 8, right? And I was playing that game when I was 8 years old in the 90s at a huge arcade game at Round Table. And he's playing on something like this at home at 8 years old in 2025.
He was teaching you too.
He was teaching you?
Like you know how like when you're playing Fortnite and I'm like giving you tutorials, like, hey, if you do this happens.
Yes.
He'd be doing that with me with Pac-Man. I was like, I didn't know you do have to stuff it in Pac-Man.
So think about that. Every last one of these games has done that. They've left a legacy and continuing on to the point where children now still want to play these games.
I think these are great games for kids now. Like maybe Zelda, maybe if you're like 12, maybe 11, but excuse me, rest of them like an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old can pick up and there's nothing too complex. Like there's no big learning curve like we have now in these games where you have games where it may take you months, weeks, even sometimes a couple of years to figure out what you're even doing. But with these games, these are like you pick up and go. Like you're good. Like you don't just play.
I agree. All of these games except for one.
I don't know why I started so hard right there. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Remix. Outside of Pac-Man, all of these had everything in common: a directional pad, an A and B button. That's it. To your point, it's simple. Pac-Man, I just had a joystick. Just a joystick. Yeah. I don't know if later versions had other options, but that was it. Like it was simple. And all over the TikTok shop right now, everything you see is that freaking HDMI stick that you can play. Like retro's in right now. People want to see retro games. It's why Bitball is succeeding so much. It's why, Retro Bowl I think was such a prime for so long. It's iconic, and what's the next big splash? Is it
Oh, I know what the next big flash is.
what do you think?
Well, it's gonna be the revival of the backyard sports games.
Oh, I forgot about that. It's not 8-bit, but
I don't care if Abe did not. This is a video game podcast.
it is. It is.
There's 2 on Steam right now.
It's 2 on Steam right
It's
now,
baseball and soccer.
and it's coming to mobile. I saw.
They are coming to mobile, and then there's 3 more on my
Wow.
wish list on Steam.
All right.
Football. I think they have football coming out. They have the baseball one from 01. They have basketball and they have hockey.
But they're updating it.
They're
right?
all updated for modern systems, like for other PCs. Like they're all updated and stuff.
Did they update the roster names and
Nope,
stuff?
everything's still the same. The old thing it is now updated to be able to run on modern computers.
All right.
So please drop
Way
the
to-
basketball one because I am playing that.
Way to cash in, but no, iconic list. But yeah, that's our five of 10 top bit games of all time. Let's finish it off. Hot takes. I think this is, I don't know, hot take. Our opinions. I wouldn't say these are hot takes, because I'm sure what we talk about, there's a lot of people that agree with us, but there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with us too.
Yes.
So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back in time, rewind this to the first conversation we had today, and
I'm getting it ready already.
we're gonna talk about March Madness.
Yes. So,
But
if you don't mind, if you want, I can take this.
yeah,
While you get your thing ready.
I was just gonna preface it. So we are going to cover the top. What part of the bracket? We're not doing the whole bracket.
No, otherwise this would be another hour podcast.
Yeah,
and we really don't want.
And I'm pretty sure people are gonna click the phone right now. And
yeah,
we're done.
We can go off the Elite 8.
Elite 8. All right,
Elite
tell
8.
me your Elite 8. I want to see. So, do you want to?
I'm gonna preface this now. I have not watched a single college basketball game since De'Aaron Fox was in college. That was that 7 years ago?
Okay.
8 years ago? That was the last time I watched any college basketball seriously.
Okay.
So it's been a minute. So these teams I picked is sorely off vibes. That's
vibes.
it.
Okay.
Just vibes. That's all.
Still waiting for that shout out from the Colorado Springs vibes, by the way. Just say. Where you at?
All right. So I got.
So let's start with the South.
Okay. I got Auburn and Iowa State.
Auburn, Iowa State. Okay. We're not gonna talk winners yet. We're just saying out of the South, Iowa, and you said who?
Iowa State.
Auburn, Iowa State. Okay. What about the West?
I got Florida and St. John's.
Okay. East.
Houston and Kentucky.
Okay. Houston, Kentucky. Those are bold.
And then if you want East, I have Duke and Bama.
Duke and Bama. You're not gonna believe this.
Oh, okay.
You and I agree for a change.
On East?
All of them.
Every one of them?
Every last one of them. So I have in the South, Auburn, Iowa State.
Okay.
West, I have Florida and St. John's.
Okay.
The East, I have Duke and Alabama.
Okay.
And the Midwest, Houston and Kentucky. We actually agree on something for a change.
Again, like I said, these are just off vibes. Like, I don't.
Fun fact, nobody has ever picked a true perfect bracket. Nobody. I'm very sure by game 4 of this tournament, I'm out.
I know my very first game is gonna.
I'm out. Right. But
hold on, where is I have a crazy upset here somewhere. I have to mention this somewhere. Hold on. Let me find it. I didn't even believe myself when I took it. Where is it?
Oh, I got one that's crazy. I
lost it. Oh, it's a different bracket. For this one, I think the biggest upset I have is I have 12 Liberty beating 5 Oregon in the first round.
Really?
I do.
That is a hot take. Where they at? Liberty over Oregon. That is a bold. I got one. I got one too. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I have making it to round 2. and all the way to the Sweet 16, Drake University.
They're West, right?
They are the West. Number 11, Drake. I say upset Missouri and Texas Tech before getting upended by St. John's.
You know what's crazy about that?
Yeah.
I had the same thing.
No way.
I had the same
You
thing.
do not.
Yeah, I do.
You have them going all the way to the Sweet 16?
I have the exact. I have Drake beating Missouri, and then I have Drake beating Texas Tech, and then they lose to St. John.
They lose to St. John. That's what I have. Did we match brackets? Did we?
I don't know.
No, we did not, because I say Oregon gets out of the first round.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. What was I doing when I?
Clearly, you were drunk. So
I'm not old enough, but
clearly you were.
Oh, I know why I did this. Liberty had a better defense, and I'm a big defense guy, so I was like.
I did pick that a few times. So, apparently we're gonna see. Now we do have different winners, but we're not gonna talk about it.
No. Sorry.
We're not gonna talk about it.
I went to go check an update on my bracket, and for the.
It's already busted
on the Real app. You know what Real. But you don't count, but they update for the playing game, and I took Texas over Xavier, and I'm perfect so far. Before we started recording, what did I say? It was like 47-39 at halftime. It's 7 minutes left in the game, and it's Texas is now 69-67. So they blew the lead, and my Kings came back. We're only down 11 now.
All right. Well, we'll see. We do know, we're not going to say it, but we did confirm we have different champions this season. So we may have the elite.
We do.
We have the Elite Eights the same, but we have different champions. We're not going to talk about it yet. On our next podcast, I think we're going to check in.
By the time we record next week, we should be either in the middle of the round of 64 or the last 3 games of the round of 64. So the first round will be either over or almost over by the time we do this.
Correct.
Well, March Madness starts tomorrow. Baseball starts next week.
And basketball's
the playoffs start in like 2-3 weeks.
Yep. NHL same place. We're getting
NFL free agency is ongoing.
It is. Just at the time of this podcast right now, there's still no update on Aaron Rodgers. So that being said, no, we did not get invited to his retreat. A little disappointed, Aaron Rodgers, that we didn't get that, but that's okay. With that being said, our follower is up. I think we're up to 11 subscribers on YouTube, might be a little bit more. We are up to 15 on TikTok, and on Spotify, I think we're at like 6 or 7. But each week we're growing a couple here and there. So if you guys can, please go to on this YouTube page. What's that?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. You like that?
Yeah,
it's new, and I'm trying to manifest Seattle basketball. So
give it 2-3 years.
2-3 years. Well, I hope in 2-3 years maybe we can have a podcast episode of us going to a Supersonics game. So
that would be cool.
That's our goal. We're gonna record our travels to the very first Supersonics game. So life goals. I hope it's against the Kings too. But that being said, please guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Check us out on TikTok. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and we are now live on iHeartRadio.
Are we?
We are live on iHeartRadio. So go check it out on all of our platforms. But please, if you like this and you stayed this far, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. It is free. Everything is free. We do this.
We don't charge you a dime.
We don't. We do this because we have fun. So thank you all, and I hope you keep it real.
We should start charging them.
We should start, yeah.